Okay, so here's the new computer I just received today as a hand-me-down. The old computer is over there, so I'm going to compare the specifications from the old one and the new one. So for the CPU, which is basically the processor that controls all the functions of the computer, we have an i5-8400 CPU here. It has 6 cores, 6 logical processors, with a base clock speed of 2.8 gigahertz. For the RAM, we have 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. This memory is basically what the computer uses to store data about programs and applications and data on your computer. It's the speed of the RAM is 3000 megahertz. The old computer had 24 gigabytes of RAM, but it was previous generation DDR3 and only at 1600 megahertz. As for storage, we have several SSD drives in here, along with some spindle hard drives. So we have a 500 gigabyte Samsung 970 SSD for the main Windows drive, and then a few other spindle hard drives for storage, a couple 1 terabytes in there. And you can see the RAM is also LED. That's what all the color is.
Oh yeah?
Yep, that's the RAM that you see right over there, and the motherboard lights are red on there. It's RGB. And then for the GPU, it's an Nvidia GeForce GTX 1070 with 8 gigabytes of video RAM. The MSI logo is actually lit up. You can see under here on this side, the GPU says MSI in there. Yep. So 8 gigabytes of RAM, and I noticed significantly better performance in a variety of games on this 1070 compared to the GTX 760 in there, which had 4 gigabytes of video RAM, which is half this one. So that, and also we have, of course, more USB ports here, an upgraded interface, USB 3, right, and that is pretty much it.
How about your game and processing and stuff?
So, for the games, the BeamNG Drive car simulation game ran significantly better overall than the old computer. It has a feature where you can turn on AI to make other vehicles appear on the road. On the old computer, the AI made the game choppy and everything, and the sound was cutting out and stuff. On the new computer, everything ran completely smoothly. I also turned on realistic mirrors. By default, the mirrors are just cube mapped. So I turned on complete mirrors with reflections, and the CPU was only being used at 16% and the GPU at 70%. So significantly better performance observed there. And as for the general speed of the operating system, it's definitely a lot quicker than the old computer, and it's a lot smoother. It doesn't lock up all the time, and things load quickly compared to the old computer.
How about this?
So we set up Studio One with some plugins, just like the old computer. It's basically the same setup. However, I did notice that exporting the song to a MP3 file or a FLAC file was significantly faster than the old computer. And also, Studio One itself loaded a lot faster from the start than the old computer. Beyond that, Studio One runs just as expected or better with all the plugins and everything. So that's basically the old.
How about this game, the one you got?
So over here.
Yeah. No, right here.
So we expect that to run quite well. We haven't set it up yet, but it's basically a flight simulation game similar to Microsoft Flight Simulator. The old computer would have been chugging under it. The CPU would have been nowhere near enough to handle it. And this computer, we expect will be able to handle it much better. We haven't actually tried and installed it yet, but that's our prediction.
Okay, how about this? Anything different?
Nothing much different at all, because this has its own CPU, so it doesn't have anything related to the computer.
Okay.
But yes, and that's pretty much it for the overview of the new computer.